Before I bring Garry Cobb in here, I want to set this up for G Cobb. And this is my takeaway on the draft, and I want to get his in a second here. And I started my program off on this. I think Howie and his staff and his pro and college personnel people with the DeAndre Swift move, with staying in the big program sandbox, which means better coaching, and every single one of these players the Eagles drafted were in the top 100 ESPN high school prospects. Every one of these kids have been star players their entire careers, no matter what round they went in. I just think they did their homework. They filled needs. They went talent. They got younger, and I think they got more athletic. Let's bring G Cobb in from Fox 29 in Philadelphia. I tell you, I tell people this all the time. This is what you don't want to hear when you're coming off a NFC title or a Super Bowl win. You got here was you got cheaper, more athletic, and younger. And this guy I'm going to start calling him Merlin. Merlin the magician, because he's really had a spectacular offseason. Give me your overall takeaway on what you've seen.
Well, I think some of it is things broke their way. We know all what's going on with Jalen Carter and the fact that, he made a bad decision. He got involved in a situation. A couple people died. And so we know what happened there. It wound up working out for the Eagles. And, you wonder what other people are doing, but the Eagles are in a position where they can take a chance, to try. It's just like, you got a team, they gain 9 yards on first down. It's second down and 1. And, they're going for it all on second down. And you're going like, well, they can afford to because they've gotten things right in a lot of other ways. So they are taking a chance with Jalen Carter, but, you could come out shining because the kid has got amazing talent, and it happened to be at a position which, they just lost a guy which they need to replace him. So, so that worked out for them.
I would throw this at you too. Garry, let me read you this front seven here.
Yeah.
Brandon Graham, Jordan Davis, or Jalen Carter, Fletcher Cox, Josh Sweat, Nolan Smith, Nakobe Dean, Hassan Reddick. That's your front seven potentially if these kids come in here and show that they belong in the ability to be able to start. You got younger and more athletic. Now, the question mark is probably this, right? The experience is going to be something that you're going to have to really keep an eye on whether or not the experience factor will play into this.
Correct. And that they've got to develop these kids, but they got the potential. You see things with Carter, which, you don't normally see a big guy moving like that. He also can, he can get low, and, the big guys don't like when you come in and you get that low on the ground when you're coming around. He's got the power where he can be a power guy. We're just, just overpower the guy and push him back in the quarterback space, things like that. And then, the whole thing is, does he live up to his potential, though? Because I could see where, they're going to have to keep an eye on him. They're going to have to make sure they're pushing him. But he's in an environment where you got guys you already played with. It's a competitive environment, that's the way you get pushed. That, hey, you want to play? Do you want to get on the field? There are going to be other guys, that are going to be a real good company for him, like Jordan Davis. He and Jordan Davis are going to be in competition somewhat, That's going to be good because Jordan Davis needs to be pushed too. So I think it's just a great environment for all these kids. And they know something about that, this is not something that's new to them, to be in an environment where you got other great players. And if you don't step it up, those guys are going to be playing and you'll be sitting over there on the oak.
Garry, don't you agree too that Tracy Rocker, who recruited these kids and drafted these kids, here's the advantage that you have with that. Mm-hmm. As you and I know, when you go from the college ranks to the pro ranks, you don't know your position coach. You don't know anything about the guy. This coach knows your pluses, your negatives, your weaknesses, what you do, what you can't do.
Yeah.
Don't you think that really played a factor also in Tracy going like this? I've been in their families' homes.
Yeah.
You know, he could tell these guys this. You need more dedication, because to me it looks like dedication conversations that you have to have with these guys. And
that's
to
right.
me, who better to have than the guy that brought you into Georgia?
I mean, that's great. That's what you want that, because this is personal. And you know, you got to get personal with these guys. Say, look, man, you know, you my man, you know, hey, but I can't do anything for you. You're gonna have to earn it on the field. And you got to come in here in better shape. We're expecting you to be able to play, you know, 2-3 downs. Hey, man, you got to be able to give us everything you got. And we can't guarantee you plays. We can't guarantee you plays. Come on, you know we don't do it like that. You got to go out and earn these plays. And you got other guys you're going to be competing with. And the best man's going to be on the field, you know. And we can't guarantee you anything more than that. But we brought you in here because we think you can shine here. That's why we brought you. We didn't bring you in because we didn't think you could play on this level, but you got to show that to us. And I think all these guys need that kind of environment. It's going to make all of them better. And they're going to be going, understand, they're going against linemen that are not pushovers either. You know, when they do those one-on-one drills, you know it's fun, man, because they know, hey, this is the best in the league you're going against. So they got to battle those guys, and then you don't want to be going in the film room and going like, what was that? You know?
These are the best people in the world.
That's right. I mean, and you know, you can get embarrassed if you don't you don't come ready to play, and they know this is what they're gonna be facing every day. You know, they got to line up against those guys, and so that's what makes you better, though. You know,
how
when
about this?
When you get pushed like that.
How about this on the offensive side? Lane Johnson, Cam Jurgens, Kelsey, Landon Dickerson, Jordan Mailata, Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, DeAndre Swift now's been added.
I know.
Jalen Hurts. This is like a roster for the NFC Pro Bowl.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, because really, look how many guys. They had guys that really were Pro Bowl level players, didn't make it last year. You know, I mean, like, you know, Dallas. When Goddard played, come on, he played at a Pro Bowl level. He just got hurt, and, you know, that's the reason why he didn't make it. But, you know, you see they have a number of guys that are on this team like that. And so they've got a good environment where you got good competitive, you know, type of really they had the same kind of atmosphere at Georgia. Because, you know, that's where you win. When you got this high competition going on in practice, that's the way you win. And so, you know, these guys are used to that. And so I'm going to stand over on the side and want to check it out. And, yeah, you know, I could crack some jokes when we get in the locker room, you know, because, you know, somebody gets embarrassed. Hey, man, whoa, it's a tough day out there for such and such, man. Wow, boy, you had a tough day out there today, man.
Hey, Gary, this is going to mean a lot more in practice there in the NovaCare Center. Hey, this ain't Georgia anymore.
That's right. Right. Oh, boy, hey, you dig them with that. Yeah, man, this ain't Georgia no more, man. Woo. Man, it's tough out there, man. You all right? Are you all right, man? You okay?
Hey, you ain't playing Vandy anymore, son.
That's right. That's right, man. And,
you got to get out there and play your ass off. Hey, man, this general manager, I'm conflicted on him at times. But, boy, I'll tell you what. Between the contract, Kelsey back, the corners back, you got to put everything into perspective on what this dude has done here, man. Plus the drafting and how smart it was, how calculated it was. I mean, this guy's had, in my opinion, Gary, I think he's had a better offseason this year than when he had last year when he constructed the NFC champion football team. I mean, it just seems, at least, and I know they got to play. Yeah. Give me your takeaway with this guy, because I'm conflicted with him at times.
Well, I'll tell you, you know, I see things happening with Howie where I think he's just getting smarter. And he's keeping himself where he's leaning on people that he knows have more expertise in certain areas, maybe in the drafting area with picking that player, going like, okay, I'm going to go with you guys. I'm going to put the right people in here. I want you to tell me which way we need to go here. Now, when it comes to making the moves and different things like that. He's always had a great, really, it just seemed like a good flow, especially with his relationship with other guys in the league, you know, where he can call and work out a deal with a guy and, you know, whatever, the guy doesn't feel that bad. He just got taken to the cleaners. You know, I don't know what he's telling them. Maybe he's sending, you know, there's some gifts or something. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he got these great cards or something. He's saying, hey, man, I like doing business with you. But he does a great job. And then also with the agent, where he does a good job. Now, you know the way he structured the Jalen's contract, where it's really friendly to the Eagles and what they want to do for the next few years. Things like that. You don't see other GMs do a good job with that. You know, they go ahead and they like, how many guys are packed back up in the corner where they got to start letting people go? I mean,
the Giants.
Look at the Giants did last year. You just let a guy walk. That a GM should almost be fired if he does that. You know, because
anybody who puts those deals together and doesn't duplicate what the Jalen Hurts contract looks like is doing their organization an absolute disservice. I mean. Yeah. How about the Swift move? I tell you, I almost fell off my chair.
What are the Lions doing?
Hey, Gary, he to me is a modern day Le'Veon Bell. He reminds me of the pass catching guy who can run in between the tackles. Yeah. And this is the kind of guy that they coveted. They tried to get Christian McCaffrey. They wanted to get Bijan. So what did they do? They got Bijan 2.0.
That's right.
And Swift. I mean, I get this. If he walks, they get a 4th rounder from Detroit.
That's right. I mean, come on. And the Lions, what exactly are you doing? I mean, you got a legitimate weapon there, but you got all these holes other places, but you're here stocking up on running backs. I'm going like, are these guys kidding? You know, and then they just, you know, hand this guy to the Eagles. You know, of course, it's great for them, but you just look at the Lions and you said, I mean, I know you guys are trying to get better, but you did not need to get, you know, another running back at the number 12 pick.
Overdrafted.
All the holes they draft a running back.
Then they get a linebacker later, the kid Campbell, who's a 2nd rounder. You're sitting there going like this. I mean, dude, there were so many more players that you could have drafted effectively there. Yeah. Yeah. But they went linebacker. Yeah. Then they went running back. And on top of that, Gary, he's the 2nd running back in the draft. I mean, who would have thought running backs would have been taken before wide receivers in any draft in today's NFL? Not like you or I, when running backs went all the time. Wide receivers go all the time, and 2 RBs went before wide receivers.
I mean, it's a passing league. Do they get it? It's a passing league. Like, what are you doing? I mean,
are they the team to beat, in your opinion, now in the NFC?
Well, you know, the way things stack up right now, but of course, you know, things happen.
Yep.
You know, so, you know, when you have young kids, you know, you do need to keep an eye on them. You just want these guys to let all the news happen on the field, because.
Are you concerned about? Are you concerned about the? I brought this up in the first hour. To me, it looks like a dedication. Are you going to be dedicated to being a pro ball player and doing the work? And get this, it takes no athleticism. It takes dedication.
That's right.
Your dedication to be the best you could possibly be.
That's right.
When you're at a place like Georgia, Gary, when you could kill everybody, you know, and you're the overpowering favorites and you don't really have to do the little things, you just overpower folks. But when you get to the NFL, those little things all matter.
Yeah, because you're not pushed to the limit. See, you know, you got, you know, you're better. You know, you haven't really expended everything. But on this level, you know, if you want to be the best, you're going to have to give it all out there, man. You know, so that is going to be what we see. I mean, are they going to have the type of dedication? And then they don't need the nonsense off the field. You don't need to be getting in trouble. You need, you know, and you need to be focused on football, meaning that you got to spend that time looking at what these guys like to do out of different formations. You got to be smarter, because you're not going to see the same thing from week to week. And you're going to see where you've got to learn these teams and what they like to do, the guys blocking you. You know, can you see anything in their stance? You know, are they telling you anything? You got to go in there and really work if you want to be exceptional. And you also have got to be in great condition. I mean, that's something with Jordan Davis. I mean, coming back this year, hey, Jordan, man, you got to drop off maybe 10, 15, 20 pounds, whatever it is, because we need you to play. We can't have when you patting your head after every play. You got to be in there, man, because this is pro ball. This is not you guys beating up on guys for most of the season. No, you got to be in there, and we need you to be out there and play. And so that's why both of those guys, you know, they're going to have to be, you know, both Jalen and Jordan. These guys have got to be in shape because they're big, and you know they haven't really been pushed to the limit where they got to be in the kind of shape where, look, suck it up. You know, and if you're in good shape, you know, you bounce back. You always bounce back if you got that kind of conditioning. So that's what it's going to be really for these guys. Now, they're going to all be together, and sometimes it's going to be good when they get punched in the face.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's going to be good. Well, you know, where we say, hey, you know, what you got really kind of took Jalen to school there. You know, maybe they run in, they're playing the Cowboys. And, you know, Big Martin down there. He takes the kid to school. Hey, welcome to the NFL. You know, this thing, you know, and that's in a way it's going to be good for him because it's going to see what this level is all about and push them, and they're really going to just push him into being a better player.
Hey, Gary, I tell people my first time I'm playing against the Bears and I'm playing against Tom Thayer and them guys. Mm-hmm. This was '87, and I remember I didn't get my head front side minus. A guy slipped me minus. I'm going, holy shit, these plays are going so fast. I looked up, I had 4 minuses already, and I'm like, holy shit, I hadn't had 4 minuses all year. Yeah. And you're just going, it was all technique, and these guys knowing where to go. That's all angle stuff. I mean, it's not overpowering. It's overwhelming. You know what I mean? It's just overwhelming at times.
Well, you know, and this is what these guys really, it's going to be fortunate because they haven't been pushed like this, you know.
Yeah.
Like when I was in college, really, we weren't always pushed because we had the better team.
You played at Southern Cal. I played at Miami, right?
Yeah, that's right. So, you know, when you get to the pros, it's almost good. You've got this other level. You see these people, you're saying, you know what? I got to go to work. You know, I'm going to have to get better. You know, I got to stay out here. You know, I'm out, you know, you're out there working on some drill after practice, you know, because you got to make sure you get this thing right. And then the mental part of the game, it's more of a mental game too, on the pro level. And These are all the type of things they're going to have to get used to, see?
Absolutely. Gary, thank you so much, my friend.
All right.
Appreciate it. Gary Cobb, Fox 29, Philadelphia, former Eagle himself. I'm going to tell you this one more time here. Don't let the off the field with not being dedicated be the factor on why you're not being productive. I guarantee, you know why I feel more confident that Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter are going to be forces in the NFL? Because they have a coach who knows them, been around them, has coached them when they were younger, knows all the positives and negatives, and is going to put these kids in positions to succeed. They're not walking in to the Philadelphia Eagles not knowing who their defensive line coach is. They know exactly. And don't think when all of a sudden it came down for the Eagles to make a decision on Carter, that Tracy Rocker's voice wasn't heard. How about when they interviewed the defensive coordinator for the Georgia Bulldogs? And they were talking about the talent that he had on the team. You think that, by the way, defensive coordinator is talking, hey, and you know what's crazy about some of the people in the media? Some of the people in the media think this is talking shit on Jalen Carter. Hey, man, the kid's got to work harder at times. He's got to study more. And he's got to be a little bit more dedicated in doing some of the littler things and practice a little bit harder. How many people take that as shit talking? I don't. That sounded like Jerome Brown to me. That sounded like Jerome. See, look at how the media, because they've never been on a football field and never been coached before, takes that as negative. Me, I take that as positive. Sileo, you got to work harder. You got to study more. You got to watch more game film. You got to practice harder, son. Yes, sir. I take that as a compliment that I need. He's showing me all the things I need to do to get better as a football player. But yet media people, if you talk to them like that, they think you're talking shit to the kid or talking shit to them. That would be talking shit to them. Why? Because they've never competed for anything. Remember, when people rip other people like Jalen Carter or Jordan Davis, most of the time those people don't have legacies. So it's easy to rip people who don't have a leg. For people to rip that don't have legacies, it's easy to rip him. You see, they look at Jalen Carter in those conversations as being negative. I don't. How are you going to get better? Being lied to, like many people in the world like to be? Remember, I told you, most people would rather have lies told to them than the truth. Most people would rather be lied to. Football coaches who love their players don't lie to them. Son, you got to work harder. Son, you can't be what you're doing right now if you want to get to the elite status of what you want to be. You want to be Fletcher Cox? You can't just sit around on your athleticism. You got to be better than that. That's good coaching. That's not shit talking. And to me, when you have a coach like Rocker, he has already a built-in relationship with these men, including Nakobe. He's got a built-in relationship. And why is that important? Well, if you're going to be constructive to somebody, know them personally. You know, how many times do you get into your business place where you work or where you are in your life, and someone just starts talking shit to you, and you have no idea who he is? And you look at that guy and you call him an asshole. And you're just like, bro, this guy's an asshole. Or how many times have you were in a place of business that a guy does everything in his power to make you successful, helps you? At times it can be a little hard love, but that guy comes from a place of wanting to see you win and see you succeed. That's good coaching to me. I can't believe most people don't like that. I can't believe that, but it's true. Most people can't handle that kind of conversation. That's why most people can't play competitive sports. That's why most people can't go in the military. Because you get truth told to you there. Only way you can get better is being told the truth. Not a bag of lies. Let's take a time out. We're going to look at the NFL draft. Also, kind of a quick look at the 2024 dudes. Also, the NFC East. We'll do that next, the NFC East and how well they did in the draft. Hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.